By the end of this training, you can expect to be set up for success with Calendly and ready to start sharing your first booking link. My name is Hannah, and I'm a solutions architect here at Calendly, and I'll be your guide today. And we'll start with a brief overview of what Calendly is and how it works. From there, we'll show you how to set up your account and customize your event types so that you're ready to start scheduling. We'll then walk through some best practices for how to share your booking link with invitees and manage your existing meetings. And then we'll conclude today's training with some additional resources to explore and how to get help and support directly from the Calendly team. So what exactly is Calendly? Calendly is a scheduling automation tool that removes the chaos from your calendar and your inbox by making it easier for people to set up meetings with you. Our goal is to save you time by removing the unnecessary back and forth in trying to coordinate busy schedules across various time zones. On average, Calendly is said to save about 15 minutes per meeting booked when you think about the back and forth emails that traditional scheduling requires. Imagine that I'm the invitee in this case, and I'm looking to schedule a consultation with Phil. Phil sent me his Calendly link in an email, and now I have the ability to choose a time that works best for me. The booking page automatically detects my time zone, resulting in a smooth scheduling experience. I'm going to go ahead and select a time that works for me. I'm going to look at Monday the 15th. Once I confirm a time, I'm given the opportunity to fill out additional details that may be helpful to Phil ahead of this meeting. I can also add guests if I wanted to. So if there were, in this case, anyone else involved in the project, like a roommate or a partner, or someone else on a client team, they can add guests by just using this add guest feature. And then Phil is also asking me which product I'm interested in learning more about. This is probably information that is just going to be helpful as he's coming into this consultation with me. There's also an additional question, but this one is optional, so I'm going to go ahead and leave this blank. And just like that, the meeting is booked. From here, both the host and the invitee will receive a calendar invite, as well as any subsequent notifications and reminders that were set up by the host. So think email, text reminders, etc. We're now going to dive into account setup, as there are a few things we need to do before we can start to share our booking links and get to something like this. So this is where I highly encourage you to pull up your own Calendly account, and you can follow along with me. In order to access Calendly, you'll simply come to calendly.com in your web browser. And first, what we're going to do is set up your profile settings, which can be accessed in the top right-hand corner of your homepage. I'm going to go ahead and click on Profile here, which is where I can set all of my basic information. So things like a profile picture, a display name, which will be visible to your invitees. And if I go down one section here, I can also set up custom branding. This is something like a company logo, which you'd like to appear on all of your booking pages. Once you go ahead and save your changes, we're going to navigate back to the Calendly homepage to set up a few other items within our account. On the left of your homepage, you should see a tab called Availability. This is where you'll set your typical working hours, otherwise known as the days and times that you'll be available for meetings. In just a moment, we'll be able to integrate your calendar so you don't have to worry about things like other meetings, appointments, time off, as we'll be able to take these into account automatically with that two-way calendar sync. So within weekly hours, you'll want to just put the time of day and the days of the week that you are generally available for meetings. You can include things like a lunch hour within the Calendly working hours using what we call an interval. Or, of course, you can just put things like that on your calendar, and we'll make sure to read that when we go to integrating your calendar. In the Holidays tab, you'll have the option to block off national holidays specific to your country. The last availability section, and probably the most important, is going to be your calendar integration. So we're going to go ahead and click Calendar Settings. With our two-way calendar sync, we have the ability not only to check for conflicts and prevent double bookings, but we'll also add any new Calendly events back to that connected calendar. One other thing that I would recommend here is to check the box to automatically sync changes from your calendar back to Calendly, so that if you do make any changes on that connected calendar, like rescheduling, canceling on that event itself, we'll make sure to read that back so that your workflows also update and then anything else that you have added to the Calendly event. We're now going to move on to the Integrations and Apps tab. Here you'll find all of the platforms we integrate natively with to further streamline your workflows. We won't go into too many of these today, but I do want to touch on a couple of our most popular user integrations, first being video conferencing. Calendly integrates with all of the major players in the video conferencing space like Zoom, Teams, WebEx, Google Meet, etc. The integration allows you to connect the platforms of your choice to Calendly directly and automatically add video conferencing links to those calendar invites. While we're here, I also wanted to touch on our browser and email inbox extensions. If you're a Google Chrome user, the Calendly extension is a great way to easily access your booking links from any tab or web page within your browser. So I can give you an example of what that looks like here. As you can see, all of my Calendly links are neatly organized on the right-hand side here, and it does not matter what tab I'm in as long as I'm in my Google Chrome browser. I'll talk a bit more about sharing your links when we get to later on in this training. So now that we have our basic settings in a good place, we're going to move on to what we call event types. So I'm going to go back to my Calendly homepage. You can also click the scheduling tab to get here at any point. You can think of a Calendly event type as the different types of conversations and meetings that you're hosting on a regular basis. Calendly offers 4 main event types, so I'm going to go ahead and click the Create button here and walk through what these are. First, we have our one-on-one event, which allows an invitee or an invitee team to book a meeting directly with one host. This is going to be our most commonly used event type, and it's ideal for conversations like coffee chats, consultations, coaching sessions, phone screens, any situation where you're a single host looking to meet with an invitee or an invitee, as well as some additional stakeholders. Since you saw my earlier meeting example, I can also add some guests. Group event types enable multiple invitees to join a single time slot. This is perfect for things like webinars, classes, or other scenarios where a host needs to meet with several people simultaneously. Collective events involve multiple hosts who need to be available at the same time for a meeting. So an example use case would be team interviews or panel interviews where multiple interviewers need to be present. What we would do in that case is pool the availability of those multiple hosts and then offer only time slots that work for everyone that's been designated. Collective events as a workaround can also be used to coordinate meeting rooms. If you're looking to pool the availability of a host in a meeting room, for example, you can add that meeting room resource as a user in Calendly and then to your user pool in the collective event to make sure that both resources are available for that particular event. Round robin events distribute new meetings among several team members, automatically matching the invitee with a host that's available at the time that they select. This event type ensures that the workload across your team is evenly spread and evenly distributed, making it very suitable for support teams, sales teams, or really any group that needs to manage scheduling across a number of folks on a team. Moving down, we also offer meeting polls, which allow guests to actually vote on a time that works best for them before that meeting is set and confirmed. And then we have one-off meetings where you can offer time outside of your standard event types or your standard availability. So think tricky time zones, VIPs, and high priority meetings. Today, we'll walk through setting up a one-on-one event type, which is going to be, again, our most popular type of event. So starting here at the top, you'll want to name your event type. So just providing a clear descriptive name for your event that will be shown to any invitees that go to book a meeting with you. You'll also want to set the duration for your event. And then under location is where you can specify where this meeting is taking place. So this is where you can actually use that integrated video conferencing platform. I'm going to go ahead and select Google Meet. You'll see that you also have the ability to allow invitees to choose from multiple locations. So this is great. For example, if you have an invitee that may have a preference to have a phone call meeting over Zoom or vice versa, you can add what we call a location option here, and they'll just be prompted to make that decision as they fill out your booking form. Under the availability section, you can specify when you're available for this particular event type. First, you're going to want to set your date range. By default, we show about 60 days of availability into the future on your booking page. And for most, this can be a bit too far out to ensure you're being proactive with your calendar and making sure you're not getting surprise bookings. So I would recommend changing this to something like 14, maybe 21 calendar days into the future. You'll also want to set a minimum notice that you're comfortable with. So if it were noon where I'm located right now, I would not be able to receive a new booked meeting until 4 p.m. at the earliest. So again, this helps prevent any surprise meetings from popping up last minute. If you wanted a full day of notice, a full business day, you could also change this to 8 hours. Under working hours here, you can also specify when you're available for this particular event, and anything you put here will override that general availability that we set earlier. So all you have to do here is set a custom schedule, And let's say in this case, I want to reserve my Mondays and Fridays for other types of meetings. I can make myself available Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday only for this particular event type. Once you select more options, you'll see a preview of your booking page and some additional preferences that can be set. First, I recommend setting a description to help users understand the purpose of the meeting and even just to fill some of this white space. So it could even be something as simple as a greeting. In the next section, we allow you to set some additional limits and buffers. This is a great way to continue to protect your availability. So for example, if I set a 10-minute buffer before my meeting, that means that no other Calendly meetings can be booked within 10 minutes of that meeting starting. So that really allows for a break between your meetings, or even just time to prepare for that event that you know is always going to be built in. Similar to a buffer after an event, that could be really nice for wrapping things up, sending follow-up emails, or even just an additional buffer just so that you know you can go a few minutes over with your client. We're now going to skip down to invitee form, which is one of my personal favorite Calendly features, because this is where you can customize those questions that you see on the booking page after an invitee selects their date and time. This is a really great way to gather some initial information ahead of the meeting. And questions can be required or optional. You can also pick from multiple different answer types, such as checkboxes, radio buttons, and short answer. Lastly, we're going to explore notifications and workflows. By default, we're always going to send a calendar invitation to your invitee upon booking, but you can set up custom notifications such as email reminders, text reminders, or even automated follow-ups. If you're looking to set up something outside of our templated notifications, we also have a library of additional workflows and automations that you can set up, like automated follow-up surveys, reminders to your meeting hosts, emails to someone else who might not technically be part of that meeting, and even our brand new no-show workflow, which will send any of your no-shows an option to book a new meeting time with you. Once I save my changes, I'll see that my event type has been created. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that into my browser just to see what that looks like. What I would recommend here is to test this out by scheduling a meeting with yourself. And then if everything looks good, you're ready to start sharing your booking link. The most common way to share a booking link is simply by copying and pasting that URL into an email to your invitee. To save time, downloading those extensions that we mentioned earlier can be incredibly valuable, allowing you to copy and paste your Calendly links without even having Calendly open in your browser. Another great option is to add your booking link to your email signature to have your availability readily available to those that you communicate with regularly. We also include our embed options where you can actually add Calendly to a live website and have folks book directly from your website, saving time on both sides. To view, cancel, or reschedule your meetings, you can navigate to your Meetings tab within Calendly. And here's where you'll find a line item list of all of your upcoming meetings, as well as your past meetings. You can also cancel or reschedule meetings from this tab as well. This is also where you can mark anybody as a no-show. And then, like we mentioned earlier, we can also set up that workflow to automatically email them a link to set up a new time if they were to no-show your meeting. Keep in mind, you can also reschedule or cancel an event in your calendar. And as long as we have that box checked within your calendar settings to sync changes, we will recognize those changes in Calendly as well. Lastly, in terms of sharing your booking links and managing your meetings, we also recommend downloading the Calendly mobile app for those of you that may be using Calendly on the go. So if you're someone who travels frequently, attends conferences or trade shows, this will allow you to easily share your availability and your Calendly links on the go, right from your device, and even join meetings right from your device as needed. Today we covered the basics, but there are so many more amazing features that you have available to you within Calendly. I'd recommend checking out our help center, our video tutorials, and we also have some really great use case based articles on how others in your role or industry are getting the most out of Calendly. If you ever need direct support from Calendly, I'd recommend using the chat feature available in your account in the bottom right corner for the quickest response. Don't forget to explore those Calendly help resources that you have available to you as needed. Thanks again and happy scheduling.